Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Witness and I'm your host, Katrina Hussain. An amazing array of issues confront us today as we look at events over the weekend and what has been happening today. Of course, the big news of the weekend was the appointment of the new right-sized cabinet as it has been described, but many detractors say it is simply old wine in new bottles. Well, exactly what led to the choices that were made is something that is known only to the party leadership. But the controversy has erupted over former Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi, who at the very last minute was not administered an oath. Apparently his chair and his oath papers were present and were removed literally minutes before the signing ceremony. And then, of course, a war of words has broken out between the Pakistan People's Party's top leadership, with several new ministers as well as senior leaders of the party criticizing Mr. Shah Mahmood Qureshi for the statement that he gave that he decided not to take oath as a foreign minister because of interference in his ministry over the Raymond Davis issue. Well, the Raymond Davis issue is now beginning to take on a life of its own, and because of that, in another related issue, the trilateral meeting between Pakistan, Afghanistan and the United States has been postponed. According to the State Department spokesman, it was postponed due to political developments in Pakistan, without going into the specifics of what those political developments are. Of course, the constitution of a new cabinet certainly can't be contributing to that. We see no connection. However, the Foreign Office in Pakistan has said that they hope that the talks will be rescheduled at a date fairly soon. And statements coming from the Foreign Office indicating that they hope that the United States does not hold the future of the region, Pakistan and Afghanistan, in many ways hostage to the issue of one man, that's Raymond Davis. And a totally unrelated development, which we may or may not get time to talk about because we have so much to talk about today, former President General Pervez Musharraf has been formally charged and issued a warrant of arrest for complicity in the murder of former PPP Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto. And his spokesman has said that Musharraf will not return for the hearing and termed the warrant ridiculous. Well, that's that. But of course, today we kick off with this amazing statement that comes through from the Pakistan People's Party Information Secretary Fawzia Wahab addressing a press conference in Karachi. I think we do have that press conference, so let's take a look and I'll translate because of course the statements were made in English.
हमने अपना एक कानून मुरतब किया हुआ है जिसके तहत तमाम डिप्लोमेट को इम्यूनिटी हासिल है फ्रॉम डिटेंशन एंड फ्रॉम अरेस्ट। इसी तरीके से जो टेक्निकल स्टाफ है, टेक्निकल और एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव स्टाफ है, उसको भी इम्यूनिटी हासिल है।
All right, now that was Party Information Secretary Fawzia Wahab addressing a press conference in Karachi. Well, allow me to introduce my guest today to discuss, as I said, an amazing array of topics. My first guest in the studio, Dr. Arbab Alamgir Khan from the Pakistan People's Party, of course, and he has just taken oath as the Pakistan People's Party's Federal Minister for Communications, a portfolio, of course, that he held earlier. Welcome to the program, Dr. Alamgir. My second guest today is Dr. Shireen Mazari. She's a spokesperson for the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. And my third guest today, after a very long time, we welcome Senator Muhammad Ali Durrani from the Pakistan Muslim League. Thank you all for joining me here on today's program. And Dr. Alamgir, of course, a very statement that we just saw, which of course I didn't have to translate because we did have the ticker running under it, coming from the party's spokesman, the party's Central Information Secretary, and then of course a statement later being described as being her personal assessment. How can an information secretary of a party may give a personal statement at a press conference?
Well, all that I would like to say is that the statement that our information secretary has given, I think this is her personal views. As far as our party is concerned, and as far as my personal views are, that the Raymond Davis issue is in the court, and it is an issue and it is an important issue, but I think it is in the court and it is sub judice. Let the court decide. The courts are free. The law of the land, according to the law of the land, it's going on very well.
Okay.
And let the court decide we'll accept whatever the court decide, and it will be decided by the court.
But the issue is snowballing, sir. I mean, right now we thought that the suicide of the wife of one of the victims had caused enough of a furore, but now what is happening with your party loyalist, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, the former foreign minister, what was all that about?
Okay, as far as Shah Mahmood Qureshi is concerned, he is an asset of our party. He is our party leader, and he is with us, and he'll be with us.
And again, Fawzia Wahab, other leaders from your party saying he's going to be disciplined according to the party discipline and all
maybe these are her personal views. But as far as Shah Mahmood Qureshi is concerned, yes, he should abide by the party discipline. He belongs to our party. He has won election because of our party, and the decision of the party are binding by him. But I personally feel he is a man of integrity. He has delivered. He has served the party, and inshallah ta'ala, in future he will also be serving the party.
Okay, we'll of course return to this, but Dr. Mazari, what did you make of this whole chaos surrounding Mr. Shah Mahmood Qureshi?
Katrina, Mr. Qureshi, and I've been a very strong critic of Mr. Qureshi's, especially when he absurdly defended the Kerry Lugar Act. But anyhow, he finally had an awakening of conscience when 3 innocent Pakistanis were murdered by this non-diplomatic American in Lahore, and he finally took a stand.
Okay, by saying non-diplomatic, you're
no, I will tell you, no, I'm not, because you know, this was a very mild translation that you showed. What Madam Wahab said was amazing. I mean, ignorance is certainly not bliss in her case. She said, he's a diplomat, he has diplomatic immunity, his visa is diplomatic, his passport is diplomatic. I don't know what all the debate is about. Now, this is the most stupid thing for her to say. Either she's really ignorant, or she's stupid, or she's trying to, she thinks the Pakistanis are stupid.
That was a fairly prepared statement.
No, but this is what I'm saying. One, we have all seen copies of the valid visa. It's an official visa. So his visa is not a diplomatic visa. So many documents have now been shown. He was a defense contractor, so on and so forth. And this cannot be her personal view. This was a trial balloon to see how people would react, because she called, when you are occupying an official position and you call a press conference and you have a statement prepared in front of you and a copy of the so-called Vienna Convention, then what you are uttering cannot be said in your individual capacity. It is simply not acceptable. This is like Mr. Gilani saying at a press conference, oh, I want to send Raymond Davis home because I'm scared of the Americans, but this is my personal view. No, he's Prime Minister. What he says are the views of the Prime Minister.
Okay.
In the same way, Ms. Wahab has to, whatever she's saying in her official capacity. And I find, you know, the Rahman Malik made an equally stupid blunder some time back. They really think either we are stupid or maybe they're genuinely stupid themselves. He said that if a country sends a diplomat to another country, the host country has no choice but to accept them as diplomats. This is nonsense, you know, and I know.
So you can reject
there is an
anybody.
agreement has to be accepted by the host government, even for ambassadors. Only when the host government is prepared to give diplomatic status in the form of a diplomatic visa, then you become a diplomat in that country.
Yes.
So please,
it is very much
Mr.
like consent.
Bab
Mr.
Jahangir's
Bab.
party should abide by party discipline also, and by the discipline of rules of procedure of the government, for God's sakes.
Okay, Senator Rani, what do you make of this whole situation? Do you, Dr. Mazari is saying do you think it was a trial balloon? Was this to get a sense of how people are going to react if Raymond Davis is to be given immunity?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. What minimum I can say on this statement, that it was an irresponsible statement, unwanted statement, without realizing the sensitivities of the international relations, and without even realizing the sensitivity of people thinking and the people's emotions. This was a very irresponsible statement. Whether it was a trial balloon, even then it was very foolish. And if it was her personal view, then her position doesn't allow her to give her personal views in this manner.
All right, so you agree with Dr. Mazari that
I'm
this
totally
is a
agreeing.
press
And
conference?
what I think is, there's another thing which I'd like to add to this issue, that this is a very critical issue, it's an important issue. I don't think that the country politics should focus this issue as a political issue. it should be taken as a national interest issue, and all the caution from all areas, from all political parties should be there while commenting or while making opinions, giving statements, or proposing some actions on this issue.
So what did you make of what Shah Mahmood Qureshi said? Because he went into considerable detail. He did meet with Hillary Clinton in Munich. He also said that
He didn't go to Munich.
He didn't go to Munich simply because that meeting was going to be cancelled, and he very clearly has apparently told the party that Raymond Davis does not have diplomatic immunity.
I think there is no such official statement so far. Other
Statements
than
that he's made to
yes, yes, and the official statement is what Mr. Arbab said, that the issue is in court, and so was the statement given by Mr. Qureshi, and so is the official statement of government. And what I think
so what constitutes an official statement from the government? The outgoing foreign minister or the current Central Information Secretary? I mean, who?
I think it's the Foreign Office. Was
Foreign
the right to give the official statement.
Where we have no minister right now, except for Hina Rabbani.
Or the first state minister of state. But what I say and I think on this issue, that it's a very sensitive issue, and the people of Pakistan, they are very much sensitized on this issue. So any irresponsible statement, even from an information secretary of a party, is not desired.
At this point.
Katrina, there's one point I want to make. I think it's pretty shameful, and I don't hold any brief for Shah Mahmood Qureshi, but the way he has been abused by the new information minister, they forget that their own party founder, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, did the same thing after Tashkent. And that was acceptable. But because Shah Mahmood Qureshi has broken ranks, they've hurled abuse after abuse on him. I think it's undignified and uncalled for. He was clarifying a position because he was in the Foreign Office, he knew the position. And we must also, when we talk of the official position, let's not forget that the Foreign Office has given copies of his official, not diplomatic visa to the Punjab government.
Yes, okay. Now, Dr. Alamgir, of course, a very critical point over here to follow up on what Dr. Mazari is saying. Is the government divided? Is the party divided over the Raymond Davis issue? The reason I ask this, it is important because we know now that Shah Mahmood Qureshi broke the ranks. We have read reports that he had hot words exchanged with Rahman Malik, the Interior Minister. All the situation right now when the party's leaders, not just Fawzia Wahab, but Babar Rahman and Firdaus Ashikawan and other people, have roundly criticized Shah Mahmood Qureshi because he spoke against party discipline. Fawzia Wahab's statement today does not qualify as violating party discipline. She's also gone counter to what your party is saying.
First of all, I would like to, comment on my friend, my brother, Mr. Durrani. I agree with him that this is not a political issue. It's a national issue. It's an important issue. It's a sensitive issue, and it should be dealt with very positively. As far as Pakistan People's Party is concerned, so I must tell in categorical terms that we are never divided and we will never be divided.
So how do you explain the statements that have been issued by everybody from Mr. Raja Pervez Ashraf to Fawzia Wahab to Firdaus Ashikawan, all slamming Mr. Shah Mahmood Qureshi?
The party is just like a house, and sometimes in a house or in a family, these things do happen. But it doesn't mean that we lack discipline. We don't lack discipline. As far as all you are referring to is the cabinet. So the cabinet, we have to trim the size of the cabinet because 18 ministries are going to be devolved by June this year. We have financial constraints. Then the people of Pakistan, the media, they wanted a smaller size cabinet. So
that's why Shah Mahmood Qureshi was dropped. I mean, no, you don't need a foreign minister anymore.
I'm not talking of Shah Mahmood Qureshi,
okay.
But it is decision of the leadership of the party. The leadership is there, and we are there to listen to our leadership and abide by their decisions.
All right. Well, we're going to take a short commercial break. When we return, we are going to talk about the composition of the new cabinet that took oath over the weekend. A lot of people are very disappointed. As I said, what was that? Old wine in new bottles. Am I getting that statement right?
No. New wine in old bottles.
New wine in old bottles, or old wine in new bottles, or whatever. The idea simply being that does the new cabinet have the ability to deliver under these very trying circumstances at a time when Pakistan faces